Hello, Aquarius. Thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vailima Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Alright, I already shuffled. Let's see what we got going on here. I feel like I want this. All right, knowledge. Knowledge at the bottom. I was like on the fence whether we wanted to pull that. It's knowledge at the bottom. So knowledge to me is kind of like understanding the situation based on what you're going through. I feel like you're building knowledge. It's the difference between seeing something and expecting certain things or thinking you're knowing where things are going to seeing how things actually play out and how people are really factoring in. I feel like it's more about how people are reacting as to what you're expecting them to do versus what they actually do. All right. I'm having a cough come forward there, so let's just move on from that. The situation you're coming into. All right. This is kind of interesting because I feel like you see this coming. The Ace of Wands is coming. As you're coming into the situation, as the Ace of Wands was coming into effect, excuse me. See if I can just grab the water real quick. I don't know why that's happening all of a sudden. Alright, as the Ace of Wands is coming into effect, you see it coming. You know it's going to happen. And I'm getting like the Ace of Wands is heading... As you came into the situation, you saw it coming. But you had the Hanged Man. I feel like the Hanged Man is saying, yes, the Ace was coming in. You knew it was going to happen. But you couldn't affect it. And you couldn't manipulate it. Not that you wanted to, but I'm feeling like it's pretty much you couldn't make it happen. You couldn't make it go slower or faster. You couldn't change anything. It's just basically waiting for it to happen. And I feel like that might have been a little frustrating because you're just like, the sooner it happens, the sooner it starts, the sooner something can happen. You know, action can take place. But it's almost like you're waiting for the date to arrive, and it's just kind of like there's no one to talk to about it. There's nothing to prepare for. It has to start before anything can happen. It has to start. And I feel like there may have been some like anxiety or like it was a hard moment to be patient in. Is there something else we're looking at here? Because I feel like you wanted to do something and you may have been a little antsy, but there was just nothing to do. You had to wait for it to start. And I feel like there was a little bit of anxiety waiting for it to start. Okay, so it goes forward. The Ace of Wands happens. The situation kicks off. It's a very quick, very powerful start. It's all good. Now, I'm getting the Ace of Wands gets so far down the line, and then the Two of Wands, next in succession naturally in that suit. Choices are afforded you. Like, now that the situation has started, now there's some choices coming forward. And there's like some like trying to figure out what's best to do now. This is in the environment. You on your side have divine guidance in the Six of Wands. This seemed to work for you because there's possibilities for change. Things could improve. You're feeling driven to like put your 2 cents in there. However you need to do. You might be in more of the leader role depending on what's going on for you. But you're putting forth what you see and what you believe. And it's the Six of Wands is telling me you're feeling very empowered. You're feeling like this is great. The fact that people are thinking, all right, now that we got this far, there's a couple of little glitches. Now what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? There's like the going over things. And I'm getting you're able to get into this. It feels like this is a really good moment. Things could go really well. You're involved. I feel like you're very involved with this part. So this is where this hits and this feels good. Now it's almost like you're talking with other people and you're explaining what you're seeing. This is how far we got. This is where we want to go. This is what I think we should do. It feels very just like this is what has to be done to me. I'm getting on the other side the High Priestess. The High Priestess. Now, I'm definitely one of those people that I don't just assign good or bad to any of the cards. Even the Devil card has its good moments, which in some of the past things, like the good thing about a Devil card is he brings forth something that's going wrong, so you can fix it. If you're wondering, he's not in this reading, by the way. But why I'm saying that is because the the High Priestess here, I'm getting this as the environment. And she's definitely something that sees something for the good and for the bad. It's not all good. It's not all bad. You know what I mean? Somebody seems to be absorbing what you're saying. Somebody seems to be realizing that you're right. Because I feel like you're... Like, I don't know how this sounds, but I'm getting in this situation, you're just flat out right. You're seeing what's going on. You're seeing how things could go better. You're seeing what should be done. And you're putting it out there. And you're putting it forward. Somebody's feeling... Not only that you're right, but they're like, well, if we go completely down your way, the Aquarian way, if we go that way, they're feeling like that's giving you too much power. Because if it just goes all the way you say it should go, it's not allowing any resistance. It's almost kind of like you know what's going on, so you should be allowed to make the decisions, and people are going to back off and just go with what you want because you're seeing it from a level. But I feel like this person feels like that might take some power away from them. Is that right? So even though they know you're right and where you're heading is a good idea, they have to put in their 2 cents. And they have to change things. They have to put what they want in there too, and they have to mix it up just enough so people can't realize, you know, what's yours and what's theirs. And they want it to go well enough forward so that they can get some credit just along as well as you. But they want some credit as well so that way they can keep control. Is that real? That's how that feels. That's flat out how that feels. Now that's why I say, like, I don't assign good or bad to a card. I don't feel like I'm feeling this energy come through, and I just feel I know why it's coming through. I just feel like that's not the most evolved way, because it feels like it's more like that. It feels a little upside down to me. Like, this is not the best. This person doesn't want you to have too much control, and they feel like if they just go completely with what you want, it's giving you too much control. So they have to, like, pull it back, mish things around a bit, put their 2 cents in there, and they want co-credit for your idea. So they're putting just enough of their own influence in it so they can legitimately do that, but that's why. Is that right? That's how it's coming through. That is how it's coming through. All right. Now you... I'm thinking you probably see right through this, but who knows. Let's get into these cards. I'm getting the 6 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like you might see it for what it is. I'm not 100% sure. The 6 of Pentacles is like, this other person wants to change the situation. They want to put their spin on it. The 6 of Pentacles is like, you just need the situation to go forward. You need it to improve. You're going along with it. You're very giving to the situation. You're working with this person. That's what I feel. You're very gracious. You're very giving. And I'm getting like the Ace of Swords is you want this to move forward. You're trying to get this new change to move forward. You're pushing forward with it. You're standing behind what you thought. If it has to be changed a little bit, as long as we keep going forward and things get better, so be it. And the 8 of Swords is telling me you feel like you have no choice. You're stuck. You can't seem to change what's going on. It just seems to be what it is. But you also have the passion, and I feel like that's what's really driving you through. You need things to get better. You want the majority of what you're saying to happen, and you're seeing the majority of what you said is going to happen, the key points at the very least. It's just you have to be very giving. You have to kind of back off. You have to kind of allow this other person to do what they want a little bit. So I'm getting you're very gracious with that. But you're continuing the communication. You're continuing it moving forward. It's just you have to work with this energy. You feel like you have to, so you're doing that. But the passion here to keep it moving forward is definitely driving you. You're excited about it because it is going to make things better. Yeah, it's not working out ideally, but it's still working out. Now, I'm getting you're moving forward, and I'm getting the 9 of Swords. Whatever this person put in here, whatever this other person did, I'm getting like that it just, it was not necessary. I just feel like See, I feel like whatever they did kind of threw things off a little bit, and now after the fact, things have to go. You have to go back, and you have to like. It's almost like someone is like, how do I put this? It's like you have a toy box, and somebody's putting in like tools in a toy box. Like there's a lot of toys there, but somebody's putting in a hammer and a screwdriver and a wrench, and they're just throwing things in there with the with the toys. And it's kind of like they don't belong there. And they're like, yeah, but they'll be fine there. I mean, they look kind of the same. It's just kind of all mishmash. What does it matter? So you're like, whatever, and you let it be there. And then afterwards, you're just kind of like, no, this is stupid. Like, get that hammer, get that wrench, get that stuff out of there. That doesn't belong there. Like, I don't want that there. And I feel like that's kind of what you're going back and doing. You're like, all right, this person had to have their 2 cents. They had to put their... Maybe you saw it for what it was. I'm not sure. It's kind of foggy because I'm not sure. There's so many people watching. Maybe you did. But this person had to put in their 2 cents. They put in whatever they wanted. But you're going back later and you're just like, all right, this is dumb. You're slowly pulling out these extra elements. This person's getting co-credit, which isn't right. But they really should get credit for screwing things up more than anything else. But that's a whole other story. You have to go back and you're pulling out these extra things so things can run smoothly. But I'm getting the 9 of Wands is like, I feel like people are seeing it and they're wondering why certain elements are the way they are. And I don't feel like you're able to really say why. And I'm getting that's the 9 of Swords. Like people are looking at the situation like, why did somebody put the hammer in the toolbox? Like why is there a wrench or hammer in the toolbox, hammer in the toy box? Why is there a wrench in the toy box? Like why would somebody do that? And I don't feel like you're not at liberty to explain what happened because I feel like at some point you're figuring out like this is just ridiculous. And it's kind of like it just sort of went the way that I said, but you know, whatever. People don't seem to understand, and they seem to be a little confused about like why is there a hammer in the toolbox or the toy box? Why? Like I don't get it. And I'm getting the situation moves forward, and I'm getting the magical powers with the joy. Everything this person added in just to have their little 2 cents so they could get co-credit. All of that seems to be pulled out. All that influence seems to be pulled out. Yet I still feel like they get co-credit. Not that it's fair, but that's what they wanted, and I guess they got it. And I'm getting the magical powers with the joy. The magical powers I feel like is you pulling those things out. That's how that feels. That's you seeing what's not supposed to be in here and pulling it out. I don't know how else to explain that card. That's the energy coming off it. I'm not going to question it. And then the joy is like the situation is just going very well. I just feel like there's a little bit of ridiculousness. I feel like if you realize why the ridiculousness is there, this person feels like they legitimately can claim co-credit if they put in their 2 cents. Ironically, though, everything they're putting in, you're going to pull right back out because it makes no sense. But they still get co-credit. I don't know. Maybe if you just see that going in, maybe this can work somehow better to your advantage. That is, I feel like that's what this person wants. So I'm feeling for the right ones that this is really hitting for, you're going to see this going in and you're going to know the best way to handle this person so that things just work out smoother, or maybe you'll just find a way to just put them on as credit anyway or whatever instead of going through all this ridiculousness. Almost like talking it out with them, hashing out the idea, and then just putting their name on it anyway. That way it's just, you know, you don't have to go through this ridiculousness and they get their co-credit, which is what they want anyway. Are we good? All right. I'm going to end that there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.